Did you know aliens built the pyramids? Yeah, or so the internet tells us. A quick search on YouTube will show you that there's no shortage of wild explanations. Anything from lost ancient civilizations to Atlantis and all the way to aliens. And that kind of got me thinking. What's with all these pyramids around the planet? Popping up in different places, different cultures, and different times. What is it about the shape that's so attractive to people? So much so that they're willing to expand vast resources, time, and manpower to build them. Although they're kinda useless. Khufu's pyramid? You know, the big one in Egypt. It is said that it took 20 years to build, and it kinda bankrupted the kingdom. Mind you, this was a Bronze Age culture that built this, and even by today's modern standards, with all our technology and tools and whatnot, it would be a difficult task. And for what? To build a giant stone wrapper for a shriveled corpse? That's just sheer madness. Then there's the Chinese pyramid, built by the so-called first emperor of China, that after much war and pillaging, he amassed vast wealth and power. And then he became obsessed with immortality. In order to achieve this, he started consuming mercury tablets. That kind of made him dead. But before he kicked the bucket, he built this giant tomb pyramid and a huge terracotta army. It's kind of crazy, because it crippled the kingdom and it collapsed after a couple of generations. Then there's the pyramids in Central and South America. There's plenty of pyramids there, but most of them are not tombs, but somehow revolve around the same idea of worshipping death and power, or both. And they also make a thing out of worshipping the rulers as some sort of gods. Because, you don't have any other better things to do on this planet than be crushed under the weight of social madness. Anyway, in all of these historical cases, there's a similar tendency coming true whenever these giant triangles start popping up. And it mostly revolves around the excessive power, wealth, and death. Mostly focused around the very small group that makes life miserable for everyone else, and eventually leads those societies to collapse. When we look at the hyper-concept, the abstract sensations behind these monuments, we can recognize similar sentiments today. We can see that, although we are yet to start building pyramids again, we are still plagued by pyramidal hierarchies. We can see how some people that reach the social summit, after gathering a lot of wealth and influence, they become obsessed by immortality. Maybe you've heard a couple of them dreaming out loud and talking about how they're looking to invest in this utter futile pursuit, like many others before them. To my appreciation, this is because their excessive social position, all that wealth and privilege that went to their head, they've become unable to accept that they're part of this world and subject to the same sacred rules as everyone else. Talk about entitlement. They cannot bear the thought that what they've gathered one day will all be given back, and they can join the compost heap with the rest of us. Spending their resources on grandiose, useless projects or engaging in aggressive political or business strategies might be more about their disconnected condition and selfish urges than addressing the needs of their surrounding society. The same society that keeps them in that elevated spot and can very well take them down. And the higher they climb towards the peak of that pyramid, the more disconnected from reality they become. The pyramid then might be more than just a giant tomb. It might be a visual manifestation that reflects the ideology of a society experiencing collective madness and decay. Maybe that's why some people become absorbed with pyramids and spin all sorts of fantasies around them, because to some extent they recognize the obscure message carried by the pyramids. So of course aliens built the pyramids, because the sentiment behind making such a thing is a departure from Earth, sanity, and our natural condition. That of living as a part of this world, and not apart from it. In future videos I'll be exploring more about wealth, power, and death, and many other subjects that we take for granted. So if you're interested in this sort of things, subscribe to the channel. And if you've got a topic that can match this level of crazy, drop it in the comments.